Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about the Twilight Zone, the 2019 reboot of the Twilight Zone. This is Season 1, Episode 5. It's called A Wunderkind. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So this one stars John Cho, and a young, what's his face, Jacob Tremblay from Room, who's aged considerably. I mean, he's still a little kid, but he went from 5 to 10. you know.
Yeah. He for some reason though he looks younger than he did in Predator.
You think?
Yeah, he does to me at least.
Maybe it was just the way he was acting. Maybe it was just performance.
Yeah, it could be.
Because he was intentionally sounding really kiddie for a lot of this.
Yeah, it's true.
I was getting this weird insight into the modern child in this episode because he was like, well, I started a YouTube channel and I started blogging about Minecraft, but that's for little kids, so I started vlogging about Fortnite instead. And I'm like, oh god, I hate children.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that.
At least vlog about cool games, but I don't know, killing zombies.
You say that, but Fortnite was cool.
Was it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like one of the most played games on the planet. That's kind of the definition of cool.
No, it's not. Successful does not mean cool. I'm not going to subscribe to this.
It was played by literally millions of very
not to
people.
go all hipster at you, but there's a threshold of success that once you have passed it, you've stopped being cool and you're just the mainstream thing.
No, I disagree with that. Mainstream usually is cool.
I don't know if I agree with this.
That's usually why it's mainstream.
Minecraft was never cool, but I misspoke there. Fortnite was never cool. I will fight anyone on this. It's always looked like shit. Okay.
I can tell you never touched it.
I've seen it played though. I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know. The art style does nothing for me. I don't know. I look at it and I'm like,
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I don't like
at least it has an art style though.
Was that a Ticket Battlegrounds or
PUBG?
PUBG. But PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds because they have to have a whole title. Anyway, the point is
a little bit, yeah.
So the plot of this episode is that John Cho plays Raph, and he is a campaign manager, and he tries to get some actor who I know from other things re-elected as president, and they say he's the worst president or the least popular president in history, and I thought, oh, he's representing Trump then, and then as the episode went on, I went, no, the kid represents Trump. Because what this is that he sees this kid doing vlogs saying he wants to run for president, and then actually has him run for president. And then the story's really about, well, maybe we shouldn't have elected a 11-year-old to office because he looked like an 11-year-old, and it won't go very well. Look, for as much as we said the last episode, we couldn't figure out what it was trying to say. This one is so on the nose, it's so blatant, it's so in your face.
It's the complete opposite to a fault.
To a fault. No, I agree. This is not a good episode either. But
this is not an episode. This is hey, Trump's kind of shit, right? That's all this is.
Do you know what my problem with this episode is, though? Is that this is much like the first one, The Comedian. I can actually see this working as a classic Twilight Zone episode if it was 25 minutes. I can see the very quick setup of the ridiculous premise of, we're going to have an 11-year-old run for president, he becomes president, right? Ad break in the middle, he comes back, and then the last half is how awful he is, and then the main character realizing, oh shit, I made a huge mistake. He's Joe from Arrested Development. He's made a blunder, right? Because the final moment in this episode, before it cuts to Jordan Peele doing his narration at the end, is all episode he's on an operating table, right? It keeps cutting back to him on an operating table as if he's remembering the past couple of years as he's waiting for surgery. And at the end of the episode, the twist is that the doctor's a child as well, because the president has made it illegal for anyone over a certain age to be a doctor. And okay, that's in concept, I have no problem with this. If you set this up well enough where it's a little fun twist where, hey, the thing you put in charge is the result of your demise, which is kind of ultimately what it is anyway, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that the whole line about, no one over a certain age is allowed to be a doctor was just a throwaway line in a list of about 10 ridiculous things that he said at one point in the episode that it has no impact or landing at the end.
In its defense, it came up twice.
Okay.
The problem is the phrase and the exact quote was "no old doctors." I thought he meant like no one over 70 or
That's
60,
what I thought he
whatever.
meant.
Like
Yeah.
not no one over 18.
Well, I didn't think he meant 70. I thought he meant like no one over middle aged.
Sure,
That's what I thought he
whatever.
meant.
Right. I thought, well, you can still have someone, in their mid-20s who's qualified.
Yeah, but they'll be fresh, but they'll be qualified.
They'll be fresh, but they'll have gone to school. there's
Well, mid-20s maybe pushing it. I think late 20s is maybe the earliest you can be a fully practicing
I don't know.
medical doctor. I think because you got pre-med, then you got actual like your post-grad and all. I feel like by the time you're actually ready to be practicing, it's murky because I think you do a lot of things where you'll be like kind of operating at like a med school.
You'll be there and you'll be doing what's the word I'm looking for? Placement. Doing a placement at a hospital usually.
Yeah, so there's a murky transitional period where you're still technically learning, but yeah, like I think by the time you're completely on your own and you can practice as a medical doctor,
you're kind of learning on the job for a while, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I think by that point you're probably in your late 20s. I think at the earliest.
Sure, I don't know the specifics of how long exactly it takes.
And it wouldn't surprise me if it's possible by that age, but most people are probably already hit 30 by the time they're.
Sure.
I could see that being a thing. I mean, clearly neither of us trained to be doctors. We're just ballparking this. The point is that we didn't expect a 12-year-old to be to be the physician at the end.
No, we didn't.
It had this effect where, because like it was such a sort of obvious little thing that we're going to do, that when it cut to Jordan Peele talking, I went, "Oh wait, this is the ending? Okay." It didn't have an impact on me. I was like, "Oh, this is the end. Okay." And I think part of the problem is that it spent so much time like coming back and forth to him sitting in the operating table. It's once again the problem. The episode's too long. If this was a quick 25-minute thing, well, they set it up and then paid it off, 5-10 minutes later, it might have worked better. It might have had more of a
I don't
punch.
think you need any of the the structure points of it being flashbacks and seeing him on the operating table.
Just to start and the end, maybe.
Yeah. I don't even think you need any of that. I think just you just don't do the start. Just play through it naturally, and don't have it being like he's remembering.
No, actually,
have it the story.
I agree, because it makes the operating table bit seem a bit more important. Because when it gets to the event that actually puts him on the operating table, I again felt like, oh wait, this is what it was building up to this whole time, was just this.
Yeah. Whereas if it didn't have the operating table, you weren't waiting for something.
Yeah.
It might have played as a bit of a surprise, as going, wait, what just happened? And then he's on the operating table, and I don't know. I think that would have played better.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it is better than last week's, but by a reasonable amount, and probably better than.
It's better in the sense, just on a technical level, the script works. It introduces all its elements and does things with most of them.
I will say it makes sense. I don't know if I would go as far as say it works, but by that I mean I think working also means that it has to actually have an effect on the viewer.
Yes. I didn't mean it, I meant literally it functions in a purely technical level.
It's coherent.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, but I don't think it actually is effective in actually getting anything out of the viewer, other than a couple of chuckles at a couple of points. Because there's a point where it gets to where, he's in office and he's making all these demands. He's demanding free video games for everyone in the country, and John Cho's starting to be like, "Hey, maybe we should tell him we can't do this. There's rules to this," and the parallels become very apparent very quickly. And then it goes on for another 10-15 minutes of more and more ridiculous demands, and I'm like, I got the point. 10 minutes ago. You didn't have to keep belaboring it, which it was kind of the problem in the first episode of Comedian. It is. I get the point already.
I think this is worse than the Comedian, though, in the sense that at least that was enjoyable for most of its episode in its own right. It had problems, but this here, it never felt like it was actually trying to be a story. It never felt like it was trying to be an episode of TV. It was just, here's the message. That's all it ever was. It never tried to be anything more than that.
Yeah, it failed to give the main character any kind of arc. Because the ending's supposed to be, hey, you did this purely to advance your career, and now you've created a problem. But I never really felt like there was much of an arc where he realized this or understood or even just give him enough time to actually make it more of an actual arc. It felt just like he was there to get the point across, and that was about it.
I'll tell you what the problem is. It murkies it up because it's supposed to be he does this to advance his career, and and he's an opportunist. He sees what he can get out of it, and then it comes back to bite him in the ass. But it doesn't, because it gets to this point where, as he says, he's believing his own line, right? He's buying in, and the fact that he buys in doesn't it stops him being just an opportunist. It makes him complicit, so that by the time he's regretting it, he hasn't actually advanced his career. He's still working for the same people. He's not making all this more money doing the other jobs like his partner has gone off to do. So when he gets his comeuppance for finally having a backbone and going, hang on, maybe what I did was wrong.
The problem is though is that there's no real kind of element to the story where you feel like he truly regrets it, so it's kind of becomes something of a redemption, or at least he wants to redeem himself. Like, it never feels like that. It just kind of feels like, oh shit, I might have created a problem, but there's never any kind of genuine remorse. It doesn't feel that way anyway.
No, it doesn't.
And I don't know, again, it functions. It's probably the second worst episode, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I think last week's was the worst one. But,
oh, yeah.
But at least the other ones, well, they all have problems. I think, Replay had some genuine, well-directed tension, had a great message, even if it went really off the rails with it in the last, chunk of it. I think, again, good tension in the, 30,000 Nightmare at 30,000 feet.
It was the best-paced episode.
Probably the best-paced episode. And I mean, I'll say this for this one: it was only 40 minutes versus like some of them have been like 50, 55. So I at least appreciate that it didn't drag it out even longer.
Yeah. It's still, good 15 minutes too long, but
yeah, but at least it didn't. We can put this an hour. We can put in more stuff and
no, that's true.
Whatever else. Yeah, you got Alison Tolman in there, who's basically just kind of the straight man, kind of reacting to the crazy crap that shows.
She's kind of wasted.
With. Yeah, she's wasted. Yeah, there's not really anything for her to do. Frustrating. This reboot has not been great.
I think I'm done.
You think you're done? Do you want to watch it anymore? No.
We've got half the season now, and it has gotten worse since the start. And we didn't really like the start that much.
No. This is true.
And I know you go, I thought there could be a gem in there, but
there could be.
I don't think I'm willing to wade through all of this shite for maybe one gem somewhere.
I'm willing to keep seeing if anything at this point, I want to keep seeing how they mess every story up. Because like almost everyone's had potential. Almost everyone's been like, no, there's a core thing here that could be a great episode. I can see where the emotional beats or where the satirical beats are coming from. And
then they just don't do any of it.
And they just don't do it. I genuinely think the writers on this show are bad writers. At least whoever's running it, whoever's like in charge of the writing. If there is someone in charge, I mean, I don't know how this one works because it's not a serialized show. I don't know if there's like a writers' room or if it's just guest writers for each episode. Or
I'm not sure. I would suspect the latter, with maybe a couple of producer writers to give approval, but
yeah,
I would assume mainly just guest writers.
Wait a minute,
you checking?
Well, it's written by Andrew Guest, but hold on, developed by Simon Kinberg. Is that someone? Yeah. That sounds like a familiar name.
X-Men, right?
From
the newer X-Men films, I believe.
What? You're not thinking. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah.
Wrote and directed Dark Phoenix, which is not looking too hot.
Joy. Well, did he write and direct all of it? Maybe the first attempt.
Oh sure. I mean, but he did write Apocalypse as well.
Yeah. I'm not letting him off. I knew him from X-Men.
I mean, he has written. He has written the, I think, very mediocre Sherlock Holmes movie. With Downey Jr. and Jude Law.
I like that, but not necessarily because of the script.
He wrote Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, that's not a great endorsement for him.
He wrote Jumper.
Yep.
He wrote Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
And he wrote X-Men: The Last Stand as well. What the hell?
Why did they bring him back?
He also wrote Triple X2: The Next Level, which I've never seen, but it looked terrible.
So,
Although he also worked on a lot of episodes of Star Wars Rebels, apparently. Just having a glance there.
no, he was a producer here.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't think he ever wrote anything. He was a producer.
He wrote 2 episodes.
How did he write 2 episodes? Which ones?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, did not tell you the names.
Well, he just lists everything. He's listed his creator and everything, so he lists all the episodes.
Right. Okay.
If I scroll down, he did Family Reunion and Farewell 2018. He wrote that one.
Okay. There weren't
and he wrote
episodes.
Twilight of the Apocalypse 2016. So, there's more than 2 here. He's written like 5 or 6.
Fair enough.
They're spread out though.
I know in the first season, I think he was a co-showrunner.
Okay.
With a couple of others, obviously, and then it got taken over by just Filoni going forward.
Andrew Guest, who wrote this specific episode, mostly TV work. Some of it very solid. He's done a bunch of episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, bunch of episodes of Community, which I like. Oh, Suburgatory, which was a decent comedy. Mostly sitcom stuff though, notably. It's all comedies.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's pretty telling.
Yeah, episode of 30 Rock, some episodes of
maybe knocking him down to 25 minutes would have been more in his wheelhouse.
Maybe, yeah. But maybe I have to wonder how this show's working though. Did he develop the idea from scratch and write it, or was he given the premise and told to go off and write a script on it? Like
I don't know actually. Yeah, people pitching, going, "Hey, I got an idea. Here's a script."
Yeah, the producers like giving all the ideas out to the writers, or what? Like, how's this function on this show? It's hard to know. I have no idea how an anthology works in that sense. But,
yeah.
And it's entirely possible that different anthologies have handled that completely different ways. Because obviously the original Twilight Zone, Rod Serling wrote like
at least half of them, right?
Yeah, it was like 60-70% of the episodes were him out of 150 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he did a lot of it, and then there was maybe a couple of regular writers who did a lot of episodes. So
alternatively, on this, I'm assuming Peele has written none of them.
I don't think Peele's done any of them.
No,
I'm pretty sure the episodes, if he did them, would be better.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Because he has proven himself for the most part, and it's not so much that I don't have any faults with his work, but everything he's done is head and shoulders above absolutely everything in this show.
Relatively low bar, but yeah.
Well, sure. It's not his fault the bar's so low.
No, it's not.
Oh, just because you say The Godfather's better than Sharknado, it's not Godfather's fault that Sharknado's bar's that low. It's still above it.
Not gonna lie, I think I'd rather watch Sharknado. If you put them right in front of me and go, right, pick one right now.
Nah, see if you'd said something like The Pit or Invisible Maniac, I'd be like, yeah, because that's like proper fun and bad. The problem with Sharknado is that it wants to be a so bad it's good movie, and when they actually intentionally do that, it's never as good. It always feels funny.
No, I'm with you, but if you put them both in front of me right now and go, right, this moment you have to put one of them on, I'm going with Sharknado.
Only because it's half the length.
Not even that. I don't know. It's just an easy watch.
Oh, I hope you get shit for this in the comments. It was funny actually. We got a comment on. I think it was an episode of the OA just today.
Like telling me my taste was awful in something.
No, it was just Connor. Cheer up, please. And it really made me laugh. I love that it was just. It didn't seem sarcastic. It didn't seem like ill-spirited. It was just genuine. Connor, please cheer up.
I'm at my happiest when I'm angry.
Which is why this show can't be that good, because we're both. I'm also being, because I try to be positive for as long as I can be.
Yeah, there's usually a balance.
I try my best. I always try to be optimistic in the first couple of episodes. I was doing what I could, and then last week broke me. Last week was like, no, this was just garbage. We're like, what are we doing?
I feel like it's telling that we're maybe 20 odd minutes into this discussion. I think only about half of it was actually about this episode. The rest has just been random bullshit that we'd rather be talking about.
I mean, what's the talk about? I mean,
because it's so surface level. Like last week we said I don't have anything to say because it's a mess and I don't understand it. This one is so surface level that yes, it's Trump. I get it. I've got nothing more to say.
I did enjoy the scene where Jacob Tremblay broke down and started crying because he was on it was a tax debate. they were debating taxis, and he didn't understand it, and he just started crying. And I thought that was really funny. And his mother has to come on and like pick him up and take him off TV.
Yeah. Sure, I'll give you that.
I enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, it's not like this is all awful scenes, because like I said, you can probably edit this down.
Do you know the problem is? I think part of the problem is there's several scenes in this which are entertaining on their own, and if they were just like a skit on Saturday Night Live, they'd be great. They'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the scene where he goes into the Oval Office and he starts making demands, and he's got a basketball hoop, and he's demanding, like, you know, he's like picking from the dogs, and he's demanding ice cream and whatever. That's a skit on Saturday Night Live, and it works perfectly fine as that.
Yeah, you're right. It's a 3-minute skit turned into a 40-minute episode.
It kind of is. It feels that way. They should have dubbed over with Alec Baldwin doing his impression.
Oh, that would have been good.
Should have been Tremblay's voice. It should have been Alec Baldwin doing his Trump impression.
That would have been so much better.
Oh dear. Yeah. This has been a rough reboot. I will promise the audience there'll be some kind of review next week for episode 6. Although it's seeming very likely that Connor will not be on.
Yeah, unless for some reason next week I'm like, do you know what? Screw it. I'm ready to be angry.
Well, whether I tackle it solo or get someone to fill in, I don't know. I don't know what, but I cannot, because it's a space one. It's on a spaceship or station.
Which I guess is though, because I was going to say, you know, every single episode has been set in basically now.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah,
and to you know, it's kind of dragging it down. Like, yeah, okay, I get it. You're being ultra current, but it can be variety.
To be fair, having watched about and you know, reviewing the original series, we've done about 9 episodes recording wise so far. I think only 1 or 2 of them haven't been set in present day for the time. So it wasn't like that's the ratio's off.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was a great episode with the imprisoned people on an asteroid to live on their own, and he gets a robot lady as a sort of like gift because he's going mad with loneliness. And it never makes any sex jokes, but I'm like, yeah, it's only because it's 1959. You can't be cracking sex jokes on TV.
At first, you say, "Oh, they imprisoned these people on an asteroid." I thought, is it Lord of the Flies?
No, just one person. It's like literally one person.
Right, but then then I realised, okay, one person. Sure.
It's a bit loneliness. That was a great episode. It's a great episode, and he becomes really attached to his robot. It's like very clear, and it's like it's 1959. They can't say it on TV, but you know he's screwing that robot off camera. He's so doing it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this was a this was a rough episode. And it's not unpleasurable to watch it completely. It's not like there's not good things happening, or that there's not good actors doing fun things at times. The problem is that the writing is just not there, and it hasn't been there all season. There's not been a single episode that hasn't been. I mean, it's good up to a point, but this, or the idea is good, but this.
I'd almost be like refreshed if the acting was shite, but the script was really good.
Yeah, that'd be preferable at this point.
At least I'd be like, well, maybe there's a chance for some combination of the good things somewhere.
Maybe down the line we'll hit that perfect combo of the good things all lining up. But nope, rating sucks. So let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. You can like and subscribe and all that jazz, and you can get us on the Patreon at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. We can support us for as little as $1 per month, and you get some bonuses, get some stuff early, and a bunch of other stuff. So go have a look, see at that. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. And I mentioned the classic Twilight Zone reviews that I do with Tara. You can check out those. There's about 5 or 6 of them up now on for everyone. You get those a week early on Patreon if you're on there for $1 or more. So go check out that. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys, in the Twilight Zone.